Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad to participate in this forum. It's my first time ever to be here. I am impressed by the story of this forum. I could never imagine that this was a forum that had so many editions, previous editions. I know that it's not just a story of the past 4 years, but also the previous 4 years. I believe it's necessary to say that events like this are very important, especially in times like ours, in present times, because they increase the interest for life, for the story, and for the future of our people. It is also the right opportunity to show what is the right attitude in the face of barriers and obstacles that are raised all of a sudden and that hamper our pathway and forward pathway. And especially after so many years devoted to a close relationship and to developing close links. Now, prior to reading the message I wrote and the message I would like to deliver on behalf of Sergei Narishkin, the President of the Duma, I'd like to say a few words to show and prove that the people working in our parliament, and even more so for the parliamentary circles, there are a number of themes that are being discussed that are very close to your own themes. I would like to say that the Russian parliament today is very much active in the dialogue efforts and aims at relaunching many forms of dialogue that have been compromised by recent events. We now see that the relations amongst members of parliament at the European scale are now knowing a new thriving moment, a new happy moment. And the dialogue is our focus. We tend to discuss unhappy and easy, thorny subjects. By doing this, it will be possible to start a new cycle of cooperation, which is a 360-degree kind of cooperation. And obviously, the agreements will then be having a hope of having a future. We know that some obstacles in the political arena will entail mutual losses. That is not only a temporal thing, but also an economic thing. Sanctions cannot be an end in itself, as we well know. And the purpose usually is different from the one which is officially declared. Nonetheless, it would be very useful to make an in-depth analysis of the problem so as to avoid future breaches of international right and law and attempts to override the United Nations and the attempts to create and set and raise barriers that bring about obstacles in the pathway that leads to the future. So the creation of a common space that runs from Lisbon to Vladivostok is ever more important. And I know that now we will soon celebrate the 20th anniversary of the joining in of Russia within the Council of Europe. I have no doubts Russia still is a European country, a country which shares humanistic ideals of the entire continent. Our country is loyal to these values, stays loyal to these values, and has been so for the past 100 years. I think that, as a matter of fact, this trend will only be increasing and be accentuated, but we are nonetheless to be aware that each stop to any such relations make it so that our young relations and generations are going to be sort of alienated one from another. There are going to be no more connections. The links and the connections are being lost, unfortunately. So we cannot pass on to the new young generations the experience which we believe is important, and that, according to us, young people should avail themselves of. I would like to say that after this forum, we will have to call our young people, young entrepreneurs, young policymakers, and it's important to invite young members of parliament as well. And now, with your permission, I wouldn't want to take any more valuable time away from you. I know that there are so many interesting things, so please allow me to read the greeting message of Sergei Narishkin, the President of the Duma, Dear friends, your forum, which is so important, already has its participants, standing permanent participants, and this year the slogan of the forum is towards a new political dialogue and innovation. I fully agree, because we have to take a fresh look at and reconsider old things. Now, I have a belief which is strengthened by my participation to different parliamentary forums, and only through the loyal competition, honest competition, while allowing for closer positions, especially within the Euro-Asian continent, I am convinced that our debate and discussion will allow to strengthen the knots of and the connections between the European and Russian dialogue. So many thanks to the people of Verona that have been hosting us, and I wish you prosperity for the future. Thank you.